The Nation Network presents Coming In Hot. Here are your hosts, Brent Wallace, Jason York, and Bobby Ryan.
Hey, hello, everybody. I'm Brent Wallace alongside Jason York, Bobby Ryan. Welcome to Coming In Hot. As always, brought to you by Renfrew Pro Tape, the industry standard when it comes to hockey tape. RenfrewPro.com, brand new website. Order online if you want from them. Also, all the major retailers. RenfrewPro.com. Also go to their Instagram account as they are giving away free stuff all the time through Christmas. All right, boys. Lots going on in the show today, and we're going to get to a Pat Maroon interview, which I'm excited to talk to him about. Three-time Stanley Cup champion, a good friend of Bobby's. Lots to discuss. But first, we got some good news on Wednesday about Tim Stützle, if you will, and that is it's not as bad as we thought with the shoulder. It's a strain, so he's out for like a week or so. Bobby, I think we thought perhaps the way he looked, it would be longer, so we'll take that as good news on any day.
Oh, yeah. Excuse me. Yeah. Best case scenario here for the team and the organization and the player. I said yesterday, as a young player, you don't want a young player having a long-term shoulder injury at this point in his career. So this is a great piece of news for everybody involved. I kind of thought it was going to be a longer term just by the way he went off and the way it looked, but essentially it ends up being a burner, and it's something that needs a week off, and he'll be, you hope that it's just a week and he's good to go.
Yeah, great news.
Yorkie,
great news.
That's good news, right?
Yeah. It's fantastic news. You lose him for 3 to 4 weeks. It's catastrophic for this hockey team with Josh Norris out of the lineup. The team wouldn't be able to handle it. A week, that's a whole different story. They should be able to get by.
And now they did say that Tyler Mott also out for a week as well, at least a week, which puts this lineup in, I don't know, a quandary, if you will. Now Derick Brassard is your number one center because they don't want to mix up the Shane Pinto, DeBrincat, Batherson line. Bobby, how would you assess the forward group?
I mean, no offense to this bottom six, but the boys in Montreal are on Google right now for looking for this game. I don't know some of these names either, and I would just be chuckling at the fact that Yorkie can tell you that there's that pre-scout on each and every individual player. And every now and again, you'll get one that'll just say, "Who the fuck is this guy?" And we got about 5 of those going on right now. So let's hope the boys go in and make a name for themselves tonight.
I did my homework. There's one of the guys, Lucchini, 27 years old, playing his first NHL game, Bobby. So I was doing a little homework.
Yeah, I like that.
You like that, eh? That's pretty.
I like
fair.
that.
I will like.
Yeah.
Jake Lucchini, by the way, tied for the team lead in points in Belleville, if I'm not mistaken, makes his NHL debut. He's waited 5 years. He's played 200 AHL games. So that's the good story, right? Like you like to see those guys keep slogging it out and finding a way to finally get that call. Because you guys understand, you get pigeonholed, especially in an organization or whatever, and you just keep getting passed by because the new young guy is here to take that spot. So I appreciate guys who fight and claw their way to get to the NHL.
Well, Wally, a year in the NHL is like a dog year. It's not 6, but it counts as 2 or 3. It just ages you. They got those 3 and 3 on the weekends and the minors. So he is just ecstatic, just getting a huge bump in his paycheck. Good meal. He's going to get a meal at the rink instead of having to go to
little per diem.
The big ziti after. Oh, everything. It's Christmas.
That's it. I played with a guy that came up, and he wasn't quite that old, but a guy that had cut his teeth a little bit. Dan Sexton in Anaheim. Poor guy got called up and lost money because we were playing in Nashville, and he got hit with the entertainment tax. So $2,500 out. He was making $2,200 a day. So he's all excited. He's running around the room, and Ryan Getzlaff goes, "Hey, he's like, "What?" He's like, "It's $2,500, and it didn't matter what you made. It wasn't based on salary. Really? It was $2,500, and you could only pay it twice a year, right? So essentially, you play there 2 times. You pay $5,000 in net tax. You don't pay state tax, but at the same time, it's actually worse. So this guy gets called up, sent right back down, and lost money. It was a tough day.
Oh.
Wow. Yeah, I've always wanted to have this conversation, and we won't do it today, but about you guys have to pay taxes in different states or whatever. I don't know how many it is, right? But
Every state you play in. Every state you play
really,
in.
eh?
Yeah. So when I was doing my tax return, it is so complicated for your accountant because he's got to go state by state, different tax rules. And it's a lot more expensive tax return too. It's it's every state wants their piece, man, and they get it.
And you know what's incredible too is when they decide that they're going to refund you. I've gotten checks for less than $1 from the state of New York and the state of Missouri, and then they hound you when you don't deposit it, and they're like, "What did you do with the check?" And I'm like, "Well, it was 29 cents. What do you think I did with it?" Threw it away, but they need it for their accounting, so they had to reissue it, and you got to put it in the bank. And I'm like, making a deposit for 30 cents. My goodness.
That's funny. That's not quite the signing bonus check that you used to get on July 1st.
Right. Yeah, right.
God love those. All right. I don't want to keep you guys long. It's obviously tough for Ottawa to deal with any injuries, but now you're looking at Artem Zub is out, Tim Stützle is out, Josh Norris is out, Tyler Mott is out. And Alex DeBrincat didn't skate the other day, which we get a sense that perhaps he's banged up. And Cam Talbot is, I don't know, he's dealing with something, right? So even I know he's still going to dress but he's not been skating in the morning skates. Is that for a team that's this thin? This is a tough stretch for them to be going through.
Go ahead, Bobby. Okay, yeah,
okay. There you go. You run with it.
Here we go. No, like Captain Obvious here. Yeah, it's going to be tough for these guys, and there's never a great time for injuries. When is a good time? But they're starting to play some better hockey. They're starting to make less mistakes. They're starting to play with some more confidence. Oh, and guess what? Now you're going to throw some more injuries at you. So, if they can keep this up and find out a ways to squeeze some games out, squeeze some wins, it's going to help them in the long run because now they had adversity. Now it's going to be real adversity. Some guys are going to have to step up, especially down the middle.
Yeah.
We're going to see Shane Pinto. This is going to be a golden opportunity for Shane Pinto right now. And I like how he's playing right now. So more pressure. Everyone goes through it, but unfortunately for the Senators, it's a real bad time to happen.
I do remember.
Sorry. I mean, I was just going to say this turns into a really good thing for Pierre and the scouts and the people that are looking at the organization for the next couple of years. Because you don't have the pressure of maybe making the playoffs. You're probably out if we're gonna call a spade. And now you get guys that are going to be elevated and in different places in your lineup, and you can look at this and say, okay, let's see who's got some character. Let's see who can battle through this and rise to the occasion. And the young guys, not the Bradys of the world. He's a young guy too, but the young guys in this lineup have to really assert themselves over the next little while here.
And I do remember, this is years ago now, but at one point, Ottawa was dealing without their top three centers for like a week or so. Spezza, Fisher, and I think Chris Kelly all out of the lineup. It was a huge void. I believe they actually had played at least 500 hockey or a little bit better, right? Because sometimes you guys that you got young guys that just want to win, and so they'll fight and claw and try to figure out a way to battle, and you play a little bit tighter. So it'll be interesting to see how they play that out for sure.
The other thing too, Wally, is besides really high draft picks, it's really hard to get in the NHL and stay full time unless situations like these occur. And when situations like these occur, this is how careers get started for guys that are drafted in the 7th round or later rounds, because those guys, I was one of those guys. I was a 7th round draft pick, and you need injuries. You need stuff like this to happen for you to get an opportunity. And then it's up to you to do the best with the opportunity you can. So who knows? Maybe a guy gets lightning in a bottle here, and we see one of these young guys. Hey, man, like you never know. This is the great thing about this sport. Yep. You never know, and you need opportunities like this to at least get an opportunity. So always interesting.
For sure.
And there's lots of those guys. And I think like Parker Kelly and whatnot, like guys that have fought and clawed their way to find a spot in the roster for the most part. As always, this show brought to you by BEI, Bonisher Excavating Inc. Go to bonisherexcavating.com. If you need any landscape needs or any help redoing your driveway, give them a shout. Competitive pricing, 613-432-1120. They're also looking for to hire people. So if you need some employment, give them a shout. So coming up, without further ado, Pat Maroon, who's been in the news of late with the whole Jack Edwards situation in Boston, which completely unfair and uncalled for. I'm shocked that there hasn't been some kind of fallout more than what has been done. And so we'll talk to Pat about this. I as a broadcaster or as a guy that was in the media, I just don't understand how you can say this kind of stuff and not face some kind of repercussions, not even a public apology. That's what bothers me.
Yeah, it felt, I mean, I remember watching the clip and then I watched it again and again just to make sure I was hearing it correctly. I got to be honest with you. I even flipped the video sideways because I was like, is there something wrong with this feed? It was, excuse me, but it was horse shit. And it felt like, and I don't know Jack Edwards from Adam, but it felt personal and it felt like an attack. And, we're going to get to hear it from Patty firsthand, but at the same time, I think everybody involved in this situation, aside from Jack Edwards, handled it beautifully.
Yeah.
Yes.
Well,
Yeah,
I was in Boston for 1 year, and you'll like this, Bobby. It'll make you feel a little bit better because I know you and Patty are buddies. I used to chirp Jack because he used to wear the weirdest hats on the bus. And when you come on the bus and the media guys are always at the front and the broadcasters, and Edwards used to wear this weird hat, and I'd always walk by him. I'm like, nice hat there, Jack. Like, were you going hunting after this or something? I just give it to him. But he was pretty good. He was pretty good at taking it though. So now I agree. And I've been a broadcaster. I've been up in the booth, and I can say this. Sometimes you're scrambling for things to say, but that went on for a little bit long. Like they went up and down the ice, and I was a little surprised. I was a little surprised. He says a lot of stuffs that are will make you kind of hold your breath, but to me, I was a little overboard as well. I 100% agree with you.
Yeah. So we'll talk to Patty and get his take. That's coming up here on the other side. It's you're watching Coming in Hot, brought to you by Renfrew Pro Tape. All right, welcome to the show. Three-time Stanley Cup champion Patty Maroon, who's also a very good friend of Bobby Ryan, but I left that till the end just in case you two have had any kind of conversations, because he did call you Fat Pat in a recent tweet, but we'll get to that in a sec. And the reason we'll get to that is I just want to get the Jack Edwards stuff out of the way, Patty, if we can. And that's it's been a couple of weeks now, and I'm just curious if the Bruins have ever reached out to you for an apology. And what your reaction was, I guess, when you originally found out about the comments.
Yeah, so Jack did reach out to our PR department, wrote an email out saying he heard there's a tweet going around. He never gets on social media. He only used it for game days and stuff like that. So he did say I had to reach out to him. He's like, here's my contact. If Pat wants to reach out to me, here's my email, here's my cell phone number. So obviously I wasn't going to reach out to him. I thought the email was kind of whatever. I mean, Jack is known for this kind of stuff, but that's kind of the shorten, of the email. But obviously, yeah. So how I found out, I'll give you guys a short story, is I was in the shower and Stammer was like, hey, man, did you see this video going around? And as hockey players, you're like, oh, well, fuck. What's going on? Like, what did I do here? Did I do something stupid on the ice? Did I do something, at someone's restaurant or at the bar or whatever? I don't know. You're just trying to, like, process something that, you didn't do wrong. And he's like, hey, you're not going to like this. And then he played the video for me, and I didn't really react to it. And I was like, come on, let me play that again. So I played it again. I was like, God, that's kind of – and the boys have my back. Like, that's pretty messed up. So I guess our trainer heard it during the game, our medical staff trainer, and he was, like, furious. But he didn't want to, like, bring it to my attention. And then when I heard it, listen, I was kind of pissed off. I just thought it was unnecessary to go on for a minute of just talking shit about someone for no reason. All kidding aside, like, if Bobby calls me Fat Pat, that was my nickname growing up. Obviously, yeah. If guys are on the ice calling me fat, I get that part of the game. You're trying to, like, get on the other side of it. You're not going to take that the hard way. But when someone's just literally on national TV just basically cutting you down to the lowest of the lowest for no reason, I thought it was just unnecessary, especially in front of thousands of viewers, maybe millions of viewers, because Boston has a lot of big TV ratings. They're playing Tampa Bay TV ratings. So, if it's an ESPN Plus game, people are tuning in. I just feel like that's kind of like a unnecessary way to like go about things. Listen, if I did something stupid on the ice, I get it. If you want to like say something to me, but honestly, I just thought it was uncalled for, and I found a reason to, turn a positive into a negative, which we did. And listen, I guess I wasn't trying to cancel Jack. I didn't want Jack fired. That wasn't my ultimate goal. My goal was to find a reason to make something that I was mad about instead of me reacting on it. How can I turn this into a positive? And with my team and the PR department, we put our heads together and we came up with this decision of making that tweet into Jack Edwards charity. And it turned out well. We raised about $60,000. Still going to this day. We're still people raising money. People do struggle with weight. People do struggle with mental health. I think it was just more about if someone was sitting on their couch and they heard that and they already feel like they're already, struggling with that. You just never, as hockey players and professional athletes, we take so much criticism. We can take some of that stuff. We can take the heat. And, but I just thought someone that's just announcing the game that has nothing to do with the game, pretty much just doing that was unnecessary. So that's my take on it. It's over. It's done. It's moved on. And I've been getting chirped on the ice from that. So, but again,
it
is what it is.
We laughed, Patty, but I was in the same boat for 17 training camps. The worst day of 365 was that first weigh-in and that first body fat. So I feel you, bud. I was like, put the scale in a back room.
It's a grind.
Wait,
but yeah,
I'm getting chirped on the ice about it.
Yeah, a little bit. Someone makes like a little sly comment. Listen, it's all chuckles. It's on the ice stuff, whatever. I know these guys don't mean it.
Yeah.
Like we're all competitive. We do chirp. People chirp. You're not going to really take it. I think they're just trying to be funny with their teammates or, with me. But I just thought in that time and place, announcers shouldn't be just talking shit about someone for no reason. I think they need to be held accountable because at the end of the day, Bobby knows this more too. Like, if that was me just being recorded in the public saying that about someone, my job would be at jeopardy. And unfortunately, he's had so many lives. And now with all this, the political views on stuff now and the social media and what you can and can't say now, you can't even be, if you're a Republican, you can't even be a Republican. You can't even be, Democratic anymore. Like, there's no more views anymore.
We got politics.
So,
here we go, Bobby.
You've
been waiting for
this interview is over.
Hey, Patty,
that's just my take on it.
One rule.
Yep.
We're not allowed to talk politics because I'll go so far.
That's just my take on it. And like I said, I wasn't trying to. I told the PR department. I don't want Jack fired. Don't get him fired. If he doesn't want to say sorry, that's okay. Don't let him say sorry. Obviously he's doing his job, but he thinks he didn't say anything wrong. And then just let it be. It's over. It's done. And, just move on.
Hey, Patty, you got me thinking now with the chirping on the ice because you're in the middle of a lot of stuff on the ice. You get in, you're a physical guy. You say guys are chirping you. Who's really? Who would you say are the top guys in the league right now? That because it's something to say, "F you," or "I'm gonna kill you," or "You're dead." But who are some of the best guys in the league right now? That you know what? That was pretty friggin' good. When you just said that, I respect you for that. Who are guys that they're pretty good? That can kind of get you as far as the chirps go right now in the league.
I mean, it depends. It's like in the moment kind of thing. Marshy's really good at it. I would say Marshy. I'm trying to think. guys really don't chirp anymore unless I'm doing something stupid. Or like I always get the fat jokes are the most. Like, oh, you're fat, Maroon, or go eat another donut, stuff like that. Like, or
That's lazy though. They're not doing their homework. Like anybody can go to the fat card. Like who's?
Well, then that's what I tell them. I said, you got to find something. You got to find some dirt on me. There's got to be more stuff out there than me just being fat, because that's not going to really hurt me.
Exactly.
All right.
I
want to get to take.
Go ahead.
Sorry, go ahead, Patty.
I think it was literally right after we were playing Philly the next night, and our 2 nights, like we played Boston, and someone said it was a quiet chirp on the bench, and you can hear. He's like, someone said, "Are you still fasting?"
See, that's pretty good.
Yeah, so that's a settle, like, quiet chirp. But I was like, who said that? Like, it was quiet enough where, like, they didn't want to get in trouble because it was just recent. And they didn't know how to probably approach it. But, I mean, I got that the other day, too. So I figured I was going to get chirp from it, but I don't know why, but whatever. It is what it is.
Hey,
I turned a negative to a positive. Like, come on, guys. Like, can't be that.
Yeah.
But it is what it is. Well, I find it.
I love it.
It's humor. I love chirping. I chirp. I mean, it's part of the game, and it's fun.
Exactly.
All right, time now for Tale of the Tape as we get to know more about Pat Maroon and all the things you've accomplished in your career. We already know you're a 3-time Stanley Cup champion, but 2, that's twice you led an AHL team in points and, by the way, in penalty minutes. 1 hat trick fittingly against the Boston Bruins. You got to fight that game. I'm shocked you didn't finish with the Gordie Howe hat trick. 144, that's playoff games. That's the second most games played since the 2013-14 season, and 181 is the most playoff PIMs since the 2013-14 season. Brought to you by Renfrew Pro Tape. You've played a lot of hockey, especially over the last 3 years. How do you manage to find time to, I guess, get back and be ready to go the next season? Like, there's not a lot of time. And from what I've seen of the pictures, you've enjoyed the Stanley Cup parties.
Yeah, I mean, it's for me, it's hard because obviously it takes a while to get this engine going. When you go on so many deep runs, the first one you're like eager to get back to it, and then you win your second one, you're like, oh wow, this is like, this is amazing. And obviously we won during COVID the second one, so it was kind of different, but and like there was no gyms open during that time. It was just an odd time to be, just to be playing hockey.
Yeah.
And then for me in the summertime, it's just you try to just maintain as much as you can, and you try to, get motivated as much as you can, because obviously rest is a weapon. I'm a firm believer in just resting and taking care of yourself, and when time comes, take the time to work hard, get on the ice, and get yourself ready. And Bobby will tell you this: it's like riding a bike. As long as you stay in decent shape and you feel good on the ice, I feel like it's just another training camp. As a veteran, you want to come in good, you want to come in fit, but obviously when you go on deep runs like that, you just want to make sure you maintain that and make sure you're staying in shape, you're staying engaged, and still want it. And you're not just killing yourself. You got to be smart. But the last, 3-4 years, I've taken some long time. I've started like the end of July, and then I started like slowly getting back into it and working out and skating like mid-August, and then obviously camp. This year was a little later, thank God. I think it was the 22nd or 23rd, so we got an extra week to get ready. But Yeah, I just think it's mental. It's all mental. It's just how you're gonna, you got to enjoy yourself. I feel like you got to enjoy yourself in the off season. That's the time where we, get away mentally, physically from the game, spend some time with your family, go on vacation. If you like to have a few cocktails just to get away from the game, because I think that's the most important thing. And mentally, you're sharp when you do get back in the gym, and you're ready. You're eager to get back on. You're eager and ready to get back on the ice, because if you don't take that time, I feel like you're going to be exhausted mentally and physically. So I'm a firm believer in that, and just making sure once you start easing back into it, making sure you're ready, and making sure you still have that passion and joy, to get excited again.
Yeah, Patty, I mean, you won't remember this. I was on after you guys won. I think you won in Tampa, but you guys started your little bender end of the year celebration, and I was in Idaho, so the time difference, and obviously I'm really close with Tyler Johnson, living right around the corner from him. But I get a call from Phil Maroon, and it's bright and early my time. So I'm like, these boys just sent an all-nighter out there, didn't they? And I pick up, and I'm like, Phil, what are we doing, bud? And he's like, he's making very little sense. And I was like, and actually, he was pretty good. I could hear you yelling, and I said, what are you guys doing? And did we lose him again?
Another phone call?
I think he just turned his screen off.
Right.
There he is.
There we go.
There we go.
Yeah.
Sorry. Keep going. Sorry,
You're
Mike.
good. Yeah.
So.
Anyway,
my wife's in New York
long
City.
story short,
Sorry.
I get a phone call from Phil, and you guys said, what is the rig doing right now? And he said, he's driving a golf cart down the middle of the street. I said, why? And then he looked at you and said, why? And you go, because I just want to see how far I can push it. It was like 5 o'clock in the morning my time. And my wife was like, what is going on? And I was like, I'm just listening to the rig having himself a celebration here.
Oh, God.
It was funny because like I said, so tight with Johnny that felt like I was part of those celebrations, being in touch with him and listening to it. You guys had yourselves a time after that second one.
Yeah, we did. We, you know what? The golf cart story is hilarious. So, the Stanley Cup was on the island where we all live, like where Johnny lives, I live, and I had my uncle there. I had my mom and dad, Phil, I think, a couple other people, and Francesca's brother. And I was in the golf cart going to just bars, just doing stupid stuff. And I was like, my mom's like, hey, I'm at the bar, at the hotel bar where we're staying. Come. And I had Ross Colton
Patty
with me, and all of his buddies were there. So I took my golf cart. If you know where the island is, I don't know if you guys been to Tampa, where the rink is and where I live. It's like a 4-minute car ride. Mm-hmm. It's just over the overpass, and then make a right, and then make a left, and you're there. And the Marriott's right there. And I took my golf cart, valeted it, and started drinking all afternoon. I took my golf cart home. Now, I don't know if I would have got caught for that, but I was doing it. I was like, I felt like we had beers in the golf cart too, and I was blasting music, and I was, just I was begging someone not to pull me over, just risking it.
Hey, I haven't been back in a few years, but is Jackson still there?
Jackson's still there. American Social. So it's right next there. So I'm right by the Tampa General, across the bridge that way, the opposite side. So Harbor Island's that way. We're just behind the hospital.
Yeah.
So I mean, it's a golf cart.
Is my jersey still hanging in Jackson's? I think it might have been. I got 86 from there a long time ago.
I'm sure it's still hanging in there.
We had rookie party there at the same time as Gasparilla with Anaheim just before you came, and the end of the night was coming, and there was only about 6 of us left, and the bouncer came over very friendly and said, hey, sir, it's about that time. And I looked at him. I said, you know what? I think you're right. I said, but we got to hold arms on the way out of here. I haven't been back. I haven't been back.
Bobby, hold on for a sec. You said something there, Gasparilla. Pat, you got to. One of you guys has to explain to people what Gasparilla is, because I went, and that might have been one of the biggest gong shows I've ever witnessed. Everyone's under ships. It's unbelievable. There's girls taking their tops off. There's people drinking. It was like you were back in a time capsule. Like, why does this Gasparilla exist? Like, what is what is it? It's tough to explain, right?
Yeah, it's tough to explain.
Pirate
They basically have a parade. Yeah, they have a parade down Bayshore. And it's a long parade. So Bayshore is pretty long. If you start at the end of Bayshore, it goes all the way down into downtown, and it's like a huge parade where, there's a bunch of floats and that big pirate boat that you guys see outside of Bayshore every time. Those are the people that run Gasparilla, and those are the people that do everything, put it on. I don't know why they do it. I just know we had a game last year on it during it. And it was a shit show, to say the least. And let's just say people travel all over the world to come to this. It's basically you start at 7 a.m. and you're not done until whatever 3 or 4 in the morning. I mean, if you can make it that long, but there's tents on Bayshore, alcohol tents, all different kind of VIP tents all over. Obviously, there's beads everywhere. I would say it's like a Mardi Gras on steroids, but not Mardi Gras.
Exactly, Bobby. So
that's pretty much what it is, without the parade, I guess. Is there a parade in Mardi Gras? I should know that. I'm from St. Louis. They throw like the second one, the second biggest one. But I feel like it's like a Mardi Gras. It's like just a reason to party. But I don't know if they raise money for it. I don't know what the whole. I should know. I've been here for the last 4 years.
Well, Patty was. I don't think you were with the Ducks yet, but you would have played with. We had to send Sluggo home at about 2:00 in the afternoon. He couldn't, and then he tried to rally to come back, but our trainer Sluggo didn't see past 2. It was and in the afternoon, boys, we hadn't even started yet, and he was on his way out. It was great. But back to hockey. Go ahead, Wally. I know you want to jump in here.
I'm just trying to figure when we get to the hockey chatter, but maybe I shouldn't worry about it. I want to know what it's like to play in Tampa. Aside from the Stanley Cups, you've played in Anaheim, Edmonton, St. Louis, New Jersey briefly. What's the hockey atmosphere like playing in Tampa?
Yeah. So when I played, as the opponent, I didn't really know anything about Tampa or the city or the fans. And then when I signed here as a free agent, we actually just sold it was the most consecutive sells, 300 in a row. It's pretty remarkable, the fan base here. We're really big. We're very recognizable around the city. That our pictures are up everywhere. It's just not the all-stars. It's every player. But the fans here are actually unbelievable. It's pretty crazy. I didn't think Tampa would be a hotbed for hockey. It's obviously blown up over the last few years. I guess in 2019, having that that big run and then losing 4 straight against Columbus. But I feel like this run has helped a lot. But the fans are great. They sell out every single night, no matter if it's a Monday or a Tuesday, or we're playing whoever we're playing. If it's not a big name team, there's always
you can say the Sens.
Fans.
You can go ahead and say Ottawa.
I'm not saying anyone. But as for living, I think it's one of the best cities to live in. I think this is by far the best setup and best place to play in the National Hockey League. I would put this. Yeah, there's guys that get signed here, they're like, I don't want to leave. Like, this is unbelievable. We all live on the island. The rink's 4 minutes away. It is beautiful every single day. You can play golf all year round. You can do activities all year round. St. Pete Beach is 30 minutes. Clearwater is 30 minutes. You get everything so close by. I mean, Anna Marie Island's an hour. Sarasota's an hour. I mean, there's so much stuff to do around here. You get, Disney's an hour. Busch Gardens is right there. I mean, there's tons of stuff. But the weather itself.
Are you a big roller coaster guy?
Huge roller. I love roller coasters. My wife, on the other hand, does not, but my son does. So it's great. So every time we go to Disney, it's just me and him.
That's awesome. That's awesome.
Hey, Patty, you forgot the biggest thing. No state tax in the state of Florida.
Oh, yeah, no state tax.
You come from, I remember getting traded from Anaheim to Nashville. I got a 20% raise. It was crazy. So yeah, that's a big thing for guys, right? Like you can take a little bit less.
Thing,
yeah.
100%.
Is that 100%,
why? I agree.
Is that why Nick Paul signed so quick?
And it was a pretty solid deal, no?
Yeah,
absolutely.
I don't think you're turning down 3-2.
That's it.
I don't think.
Like,
Paulie's great.
We were laughing the other day. Not on here, but somebody said to me, Zaitsev got sent down. He must be pissed. And I was like, he just got a raise. The 10% escrow just got wiped. So send him to the minors. He's making 4 or 5, and you gave him a raise for a week. Good job.
Exactly. I agree. Escrow's going down, though, Bobby.
I know, bud. I'm still on salary. I'm watching it. Yeah.
I wanted to ask you about Nick Paul and how he's fit in. He's a big fan. We're big fans of his here. He's been very good. So he's missed, but he's doing extremely well. I think 12 goals, 20 points, and he looks like he's having the time of his life. What's he been like in the room?
Paulie's great. Paulie's just he's hilarious. Actually, he's always got a joke every single day. I don't know if he's always got a story too, and I think he lies 95% of the time on the stories. But Paulie's great for the locker room. He's very, everyone kind of stands around him. He's always talking. He's always got something funny to say. He fits in our room very well. And I would say Paulie's been really good for us on the ice. He's very, for how big he is, he's a really good skater. He's kind of like an awkward player that gets the job done in so many different ways. He's got a unique shot. He's got a really good shot, a unique one that's he can shoot the puck. He has a knack around the net. He's big and physical, and he wins draws. And Bobby will tell you this too. I think in Ottawa, he probably wasn't getting as many touches. He came to Tampa to, arguably one of the best teams, and he gets slotted into, playing a lot of minutes, playing PP time. And honestly, if you don't have confidence in the NHL, good luck getting points. I think confidence is a huge thing. I think playing lots of minutes is a huge thing, and he's getting those opportunities here. He's getting rewarded, and people are finally seeing what Nick Paul brings to the table instead of just a fourth line PK guy. He does it all. He PKs. He's on the power play. He can shut down top lines. He can win faceoffs. He's doing everything right. Sees the game very well, and he's a great addition to our team. And I think confidence is everything in this league. And I think, playing with good players and, getting an opportunity is a huge thing. So he's taken full advantage of it, and he's been, very good for us. And he's a great addition.
Yeah. I said to Wally on his old show many times, there's absolutely no reason to lose a player like Nick Paul for a couple $1 million a year. I said they're going to regret it. I said they're going to hate this trade. He's going to go somewhere and he's going to be a player. Just watch. And Wally can tell you that I was a huge Nick Paul fan, huge Nick Paul advocate. So I'm glad he's doing well down there. Wally?
Have you golfed with him, Patty?
I have.
He can crush a ball.
He can crush a ball, but his shoes are terrible. He ties his shoes so freaking tight. He looks like I mean, his feet are so big. His laces are, he's like stepping on his laces. It's just like, Paulie, come on, man, get some new shoes. Like,
Oh man.
it looks like he's cutting off the circulation on his feet. I'm like, your toes got to be black by the end of that round.
Oh man.
But Paulie's good. He can crush the ball. He can play a little golf. I like his game. You know, he can work his way around the golf course. We got some good golfers on this team, so we got a good crew that goes out quite a bit.
Hey, Pat, you know what?
I've been doing some research. Go ahead.
Go ahead, Wally. Oh, so just one more thing on Nick Paul. And Bobby, maybe you could kind of answer this too. How come he never got a chance at center in Ottawa? And then all of a sudden he goes to Tampa and he's playing second line center, taking big draws. Like it's crazy when you think about it. I'm with you. I was the same thing. I'm like, people kept saying, he's a bottom six. I'm like, no, this guy's not a bottom six. He's a top 9. But how come it never worked out at center for him? It was weird.
I don't know. I don't think they ever. I can't remember him ever really playing center at all. But he got extremely pigeonholed here, and you know, then didn't score, and then didn't really embrace the full shutdown role yet. Like when he left, you were like, what kind of player is he going to be? And I think only people that have been around him knew that he had a lot more to give, and he just needed the time. But it felt like they ran out of time with him in their minds, and it was time to move on, especially because he was going to be looking for a raise. And I never understood it. I thought he was a much better player than I think the organization thought.
Were you guys shocked, Patty, when you saw him? You're like, wow, we just kind of hit the jackpot with this guy. Like when you saw him, or was it because sometimes you don't know. You play against guys.
I think big guys with good feet, good shot. He has a good hockey mind. I think they're hard to find. And our GM has a weird sense of like finding these players at the deadline that are kind of at the bottom of their team, and he believes in them that they can come to our team and fill that top 9 role. Example, Barclay Goodrow, prime example right there. Yeah. Fourth liner in San Jose, can't move up at all, and then comes to Tampa. He gets put on the third line, he's the first PK guy to jump over the boards, and now look at him. You know, he's producing in New York. He's getting goals. He's playing some games with Panarin. I mean, it's just Blake Coleman obviously had a little more looks in New Jersey, I would say, by scoring 20 goals. But he finds these guys, and Nick Paul's a prime example. He was, fourth line, maybe third line here and there, moving up and down. But he finally got an opportunity here, and our GM has that sense of like these guys can probably be more valuable than they're being used, and they can come to our team, and obviously we can bump guys down, but we feel like these guys are the ones that can help us move forward and get us over the hump. So, and that's a good thing for our GM that's willing to take a risk, and it's kind of a risk reward, with Brendan Hagel, prime example. Last year we get him, obviously he's fresh. He's a little worried. They just traded for 2 first-rounders, and and now he's playing with freaking Cooch and Point, and him and Paul are lighting it up right now. They both are, they both have like 20 points. I think they're both doing really well. I think Paulie has 12 goals. Hagel has 9. So I mean, it's just an opportunity I think in this league, and a GM that thinks you can help their team and get them over the hump. So it's been fun to watch because those two are a good asset for our team.
It reminded me of a thing Paulie brought up one time about Andre Vasilevsky. Says he doesn't. One time he shot high, and that was about it. He said from now on he shoots everything low. That Vasilevsky can be intense at times. Have you had any run-ins with your goaltender?
Not really. I mean, no, Vass is a good guy. I mean, he's great. He's very intense. He's very serious about his craft. He's got his routine pretty dialed in. Obviously, practices. If you shoot high, he might pull the puck out of the net and rip one at you. But That's pretty common for goalies.
Yeah.
I feel like any goalie
Yeah.
does that. But no, Bassey's great. I think he's the best goalie in the league, and like I said, he gets intense. And, you know, like, let's warm him up. Let's not go by the ears first couple shots. And I'm sure Paulie did that, and he learned the lesson.
That's good.
I was trying to do some research on you and see what I could find out, and then I found a picture, and I didn't know that you were one of the lead actors in Yellowstone. Alex, is this picture handy? There, I didn't know you were Rip.
Oh, I've been getting that a lot lately. I'll take it. We actually met him for the first time last year. He came down in our locker room.
You met Rip.
Him and his wife and kids. Very nice guy. Awesome guy. He lives in Florida. I think he lives in Jacksonville. But he was a great guy. One of the nicest human beings. And he was actually flying back like 4 days later to start filming. I think, what is it? Season what? What's it on right now?
5.
I think it's five. Yeah.
Season 5, yeah. So I got to start watching, so don't tell me any info.
What a show, man. What a great show.
I love the prequel. The
That's
prequel is
funny.
great. You guys see the prequel?
Yeah, they're all good.
Oh, it's outstanding.
Anything Sheridan does is good. Yeah.
All
right,
quickly,
Wally,
Patty, I need to know if you have, I don't want to keep you much longer, is if you have any fears. Well, you probably don't want to tell me because guys will use it to chirp you, but I was curious if there's anything that you're scared of.
I'm petrified of snakes and spiders.
Me too.
Yeah.
Like, I
All
can't
right.
even look at it. I can't look. Like, if there's a picture on my phone of a snake, I can't look at it. I start, like, freaking out.
Yeah.
I couldn't turn the pages of a book if there was a snake on the page.
Yeah, if there's an animal book I'm reading to my daughter and there's a snake on it, that book's going in the trash.
I same way. Like, if you ever want to
me
end
too.
our friendship, put like a fake snake somewhere in my house, and if I find it, that would be like the end. So if
Now you're giving Bobby.
anybody that tried to play
You're
a
giving
joke with us-
Bobby ammo
Yeah.
now.
Yeah.
he lives in
Bobby
Nashville.
ammo.
I'll never see him.
I'm
Oh,
taking
Bobby.
notes.
Lots of snakes in Nashville, Bobby. I went away once, and when I came back, there was a 6-footer right on my front step, man.
Oh.
Be careful, man. There's lots there.
Yeah. I'll manage. They can't get through the gates.
Oh, that's pretty good. Patty, you have any? Oh, I won't call it dirt. Do you have any stories about Bobby? I know the two of you played a couple of years together in Anaheim. I looked it up. Patty, you didn't assist on any of Bobby's goals. I don't know if that was personal or not, but none of the 13 goals I think Bobby scored when you were there.
Do I have dirt on Bobby? No, I don't.
No.
I'm trying to think. When I was in Anaheim, I don't know if I had any dirt on Bobby. I was only there for 13 games during the lockout that year.
Yeah.
But
No real dirt. Couple nights out.
couple nights out, yeah. There's no dirt there. But yeah, I don't have anything. But it's a funny though. I have this like iconic picture, that's hanging up, and my best friend and one of Bobby's good friends now, Sean Garsh. There's this iconic picture that hangs up in Garsh's bathroom till this day. We're all drinking out of the Gatorade cans back in the day in Vancouver. I think it was Vancouver. And this is when me and Bobby were playing roller hockey together. And it's Dan Landgrader, me, Sean Garsh, and Bobby Ryan in one photo. And it's like we're all drinking this canned Gatorade. But it's like such an iconic picture.
I remember it.
And
actually.
Sean's been wanting us. Sean's been wanting us to sign for so many years, but I'm like, dude, you got to take it off the wall. He's like, I'm just scared Bobby's not going to send it back, so I'm not asking him.
Yeah, you might be right. It's actually true. Yeah, a lot of people don't know that Patty and I have known each other since 7-8 years old, from the roller hockey world, and I used to, some of the kids from like Kyle Kramer and some of these other really, really big time roller hockey players used to come to New Jersey for a summer. And then the next summer I would go to St. Louis and live with somebody. So, I've had Patty, when we were 9 years old, grinding it out in the basement over mini hockey sticks and things like that. And then, and then I just proceeded to shit kick them all the way up in roller hockey.
Yeah.
Oh,
is that true, Patty?
Yeah, Bobby is probably the best roller hockey player in the country. Watching Bobby, he was in 87, 88, so he always played with all my good friends like Sean Garsh, Kyle Kane, Kyle Kramer, and my brother Justin was in 86, so he was an in-betweener with Bobby. And I remember they had this team called Team USA 87s, and we were playing in Detroit. And I wasn't on that team at the time, but they had kids from all over the world, like all the best roller hockey players in the world. And some people from Cherry Hill, where he grew up in Jersey, and, some Long Branch and California and St. Louis. And, Bobby, we were watching, and that's when kind of Bobby was just on another level than most. That's when you knew. And that was actually his last time playing in a tournament. We were at Taylor Sportsplex, I think, or somewhere in Detroit, and that was the end of the straw for him. He was done playing roller. I think he was going off to play in Owen Sound, but he was just a man against boys, just playing out there, and it was just so fun to watch because everyone was kind of tuned in. And it's weird now that we all look back on this kind of journey we've been on, and that we've been to the pinnacle of our career. And I got the opportunity to watch Bobby get picked second overall. And I remember playing with Bobby when I was 8 and 7 years old, and then watching him till he was 14. And there's crowds, these little kids, and these grown parents were just watching Bobby play, and these roller rinks were packed just watching Bobby. And it was so cool now that you think back on life, and like everyone kind of knew Bobby was going to make it, and he was like a star in the roller hockey world. But it was neat just to see one of our good friends get second pick overall right behind Sidney Crosby. So it was a fun, few years playing roller hockey with Bobby, and I got the opportunity to play with him in Anaheim, so that was pretty cool too. Just seeing that, and being part of kind of a tradition that people in the beginning hated roller hockey. Now people love it. That's all they want to do now. All these ice hockey players want to play now, but to see someone like that we all looked up to back in the day it's pretty sweet. So. We have some history together. Our moms were really good friends. They hit it off maybe too well. And they did. They probably hit it off because my mom's from New Jersey too. So anytime they were always hanging out. So, but that's the backstory. Me and Bobby. Yeah, All American. I forget what the Cherry Hill place was called. It was just one rink, right, Bobby? The 99ers.
Pounds Coliseum, the 99ers. Yeah, that was our team.
The 99ers.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. I was a much better, Wally, you should see, I was a much better roller hockey player than ice hockey. And Patty and I would have gone first and second overall if there was a roller hockey draft. We were the boys.
100%. I'm a way better roller hockey player. Way better. It's night and day.
We talked about, I'm going to tell you guys this. We talked on the phone, Patty and I, the other day when we were setting this up, and caught up for a little bit, and I'm coming out of retirement for the 35 and over team this summer. I'm going to go meet the boys, and I think it might be Fort Wayne, Indiana. And Patty and I we're gonna dust them off together. So I'll be filming our podcast from there. So maybe we'll make it a big live thing and have the boys rolling through.
Oh yeah, we got a video.
Fantastic.
It'd be great.
It'd be good.
But Bobby, you were really good when you didn't have 19 broken bones in your fingers. Maybe that's why.
Yeah. Oh well, yeah. I don't know. I'll be just fine. I can dust it off for 35 and over. So actually, Patty, during the lockout, at the beginning of the lockout, I hadn't played roller hockey in, God, it must have been 10 years at this point. and a pro team called me and said, "Hey, there's a pro hockey roller tournament. We're going with this small team. Do you think you can come play for us?" So Travis Noe, who's arguably the best player in the world now at this point, calls me and says, "Let's go do this." I said, "Oh my goodness, all right, I'll try," but no promises I can get out there and be good in a pro tournament. The deal was, because it was in Vegas, every time you scored or had an assist, you had to take a shot. Okay, it was 2013. I ended up leading the fucking tournament in points. I won high score, and after that, we were going into the and like you play like 3 games in a day, right? And I scored 4 goals in the first like 9 minutes of the tournament, and then by the time the second day rolled around, and we're going into the championship game, I was like, boys, I can't do this. There's not a chance. So we ended up losing that game because the other team was drinking Gatorade and we were being degenerates, but it was a good time. So I can't play that way anymore, Patty. I punched in all my fun tickets, but I can't wait to play with you again.
Oh, that's all right. We'll make sure not to have any of that on the bench.
There we go.
Hey, Pat, you got me thinking. So when you guys were younger, did you guys not skate in the summer? You did roller in the summers? Is that what you did?
Yeah, I never skated in the summer. Now, Bobby might be different, but I traveled all over the world. So we had teams, we'd play in our 88 division, and then I would play up with the 87s if they needed a guy. So I would be playing whatever, Adams and Mites in one tournament. So I'd be playing, we'd be there for 2 weeks. If we'd go to Florida, one time went to Vancouver, we'd go to Toronto. We're going all over the world. Some of them were in St. Louis, some of them were in Chicago. And there's 3 different tournaments at the time. It was Ayers, Narch, and
Tours.
Not Tours at the time, USARs. What's that? I forget what it's called.
I can't remember.
And then Tours came into the mix. So you're playing, these 3 tournaments, and you're competing, against the best every night. I mean, there's some teams that were terrible, but you just go and you play.
It's kind of like AAU basketball, guys. Is the best way I would put it. That's kind of the way it is. And then you get to you would always you play a team from Arizona that you shit kick 8-0 and they mercy rule them and get them out of there. But you get down to the cream of the crop, and it was always California, St. Louis, and New Jersey, and New York a little bit. But it was always the same 4 teams, and they were just battles, absolute battles. In the semis and the finals.
I think it's fun too. I think you get away from the intenseness, the coaches being hard on you. You literally jump over the boards. You go out there and you dangle, you toe drag, you work on your game. Obviously, like Bobby says, when it gets down to the nitty gritty, we all want to win. At the end of the day, we're all competitors. We all want to win, and it depends what team you're playing. Because some teams we hated, a lot. But for me, it's just the coach opens up the door and you go right. Doesn't matter what you do. There's no systems. It's just go out there and have fun and play the game. And I think when you do it that way, you learn so much more of yourself and as a player. Instead of just there's so much tension around you that, you're playing AAA hockey and, you have to do this, you have to do that. Your parents pay all this money for it and, you're crawling and trying to figure things out. I feel like roller hockey has helped, me personally a lot. Just to be me and be myself. And, and if I'm always struggling in the NHL, I always go back to that, that roller hockey mind that you usually go because you play better when you're like that. So it's better. And I think it's really good for your game. I think it's good for your patience, your hands, your vision, and just the smarts of the game.
I agree. For sure.
Yeah, 100%.
Well, I look forward to this tournament in the summer. That would, you know what?
Well, you guys are going to
have to take the show there. Yeah,
there you go.
I'm in there. We've kept you longer than we planned to, so I apologize. But I would like to offer an invite to come back because I've got a ton more questions to ask you, including playing for your coach, John Cooper, at some point. But anyway, for now we'll let you go, Patty. But we appreciate your time. Thank you for coming on.
Yeah, anytime. You can ask as many questions you want. It's all good.
Thanks, brother. I appreciate it. I'll talk to you soon.
Thanks.
Man. Keep in touch, all right?
Bobby, I appreciate you setting it up because he's one of those guys that's a huge figure in the game, right? He's just fun to be around. He always draws lots of attention. He's got a great personality. So it's good to have him on the show. And we hope to actually have more players outside the Sens market as we get to tell stories of different players because you guys have played with so many.
Yeah, we'll get guys from different spots for sure. I still got a lot of the same connections and things like that. But yeah, Patty's got this energy about him, especially in the room that maybe at 35 years old he's a different player than he was at one point, but he's just got an energy and a charisma that ties a room together, and then you can see it in the interviews. He's a little long-winded, but he likes to talk, he likes to chirp, he likes to have some fun. So I'm glad we got him on. We'll get him on again too. Absolutely.
Yeah, what an absolute
and Yorkie,
beauty. Just with Patty, you can just tell he's the type of guy. How could you not love the guy? I want to play with this guy. I want to come out of retirement. Guys like that, I call them glue guys. They're glue guys. They just keep the team together and the loose. And I love the roller hockey stories, Bobby. I was just intrigued because everybody in Canada, and it's just spring hockey. You're always on the ice. Yeah. So I love your guys' perspective of getting away and doing, even though it's hockey, totally different. And really interesting dude to talk to. I really enjoyed that.
Yeah, for me, I mean, those
before...
roller tournaments were epic. I mean, we traveled so much, played so much, but at the same time, like I always skated both. My dad always made me skate both, but you did get away from the AAA stuff, right? That's the big thing. That break from AAA hockey was huge.
Yeah. And I was just going to ask about, we've had Andre Waugh on and a few others about how important personalities are in the locker room. And Colin White is one everybody always talked about recently, and being in the room, being that good guy. Like in York, it goes back to when you played, how important it is to have 1-2 of those guys in the room all the time.
It's vital, man. That's good teams that win always have guys. And you can't just have a character that can't play. Patty can play the game too. Like he's a good player.
Yeah.
He's still got to be able to play the game, and you watch him protect pucks, and he's got some offense to his game, but you just can't be a guy that tells jokes and go out and play. You gotta be able to play. Hey, tell a few jokes. All right, boys, let's go. Holy shit, this guy can't play a lick. He's funny as hell, but he's shit. But I love I love guys. And I tell you, I always say this, Bobby. I've been out of the game a while now. I don't remember a lot of goals, a lot of plays, but I just remember guys like the Pat Maroons of the world, man. That's what makes the game fun. Really enjoyed talking to him. That was great.
Good. Yeah, he's certainly a character. That he is.
We will have him back, and we'll be back for another show. Anyway, boys, I appreciate your time once again. We'll see you next time on Coming In Hot.